talking to you all. So that's why I decided to come over here. And I will be also coming over here tomorrow as part of the Transitioning Humanitarian Life session. But today, what I wanted to talk about is very close to humanitarians transitioning. And the topic that comes up a lot that I hear from my fellow humanitarians, my clients, is the concept that I categorize as suffering quietly versus suffering openly. And what I mean by suffering quietly and openly is I will explain in this video so that maybe we can make it more transparent and clear so that we're not being so afraid of it and ashamed of it. So when I say suffering quietly, so let's imagine that you're working in your current job where you are, and we have a lot of challenges at work, obviously, and we tend to suffer quietly around those topics, and then at some point we decide to transition and go and find something else or pursue whatever other passions that we have, and then we decide to transition, right? So and then once we are in that transition process, we will be looking for jobs. We will be trying to make our business work the way we want. And we continue working on it and working on it. And then at some point, there is this shame kicks in. And that shame is like, oh my God, this is not working. I'm letting people down. I'm letting my family down. I'm letting myself down. So that's why I must not be doing a good job. So now we go to this open suffering, meaning that we feel like as if everyone is looking at us and we're not making things work, and we feel this shame and guilt and many other heavy emotions coming in. And then we start panicking a little. We maybe running out of money, and therefore we start thinking, okay, it's not working, things are not working, so I have to go back to what I know and quickly get into the area that I know and start making money or start working so that I don't feel the shame anymore. Do you see what I'm saying? So, even though we might be experiencing similar or different emotions back at work, but still, because no one is as if looking at us or our family members are not really watching us, and therefore we are in the work setting and we just, even if we're suffering, we're just continue suffering quietly because no one's looking at us and it's only us and the person who's involved. So therefore, it sounds bearable and not a problem in quotes, right? While if we are transitioning and out about and failing and not getting things done the way we want to, then we get into the shame and we feel like as if the whole world is looking at us as to whether we can make it work or not. And if we're not making it work, then we feel so much shame. And then we just want to quickly go back to the environment we know so that no one notices anymore. So we're not as if in the arena anymore. And that's where I'm calling it. So whenever we're transitioning and feeling shame, we are um, like um, out in public as if, right? So all of our relatives know now that we quit our job or we decided not to work on our job and we decided to do something else. They all know that we're trying to make something new work. And if we're not making that work, then we feel shame. And that I would say like an open suffering that is very difficult to bear. Now, if you are in that stage or in that situation, I have been there as well. And my biggest shame, I think, that I have experienced while I was transitioning was when I couldn't send money to my mom. And I remember telling my partner about it and saying that I can't make the money to send to my mom. And I feel so much shame for feeling like letting my mom down, who has chronic illnesses, and I can't afford to send the money necessary for the hospital and all the other things, right? Only because I decided to pursue my dream. And I remember those moments being like the most heartbreaking in my own body, I felt so much humiliation, even though no one was humiliating me, obviously, outside, but I had this so much humiliation within myself, as if to say that I'm not a good person for doing this, for being egoistic, or for being the selfish who thinks about herself while the mother is suffering, right? So these were the heaviest emotions that I have experienced. But I was able to go through those because I knew how to um, be okay with those emotions, meaning I did not start acting afterwards and start quickly fixing by going back to where I was working before, or I was not panicking because of that, but simply I was letting those emotions wash through me, go through me. And now I'm not suggesting that you shouldn't go back to work to what you know from before. If you know the money is running out or other circumstances are happening for you, right? In no way, please understand me that I am suggesting that. But all I'm suggesting is that whatever the emotion you're feeling, the shame and the humiliation, or many other maybe heavy emotions you're feeling, what if we understood that this might be also part of it, part of the process of transitioning, where we don't demonize those feelings, right? So where we don't make them be like so bad emotions that we just need to quickly run away from them. But rather, what if we just accepted them being part of the process, that we are willing to go through them in order to get to what we really want, if that's what we're wanting. Because remember that those type of challenges are going to come in our other work as well. It's just that maybe we're so used to them, therefore we don't even notice them coming, or because it's happening in a covert manner, that as long as us personally are suffering under it and no one's watching, it's okay, maybe. While in the transitioning process, we feel like we're now out in the world, everyone is looking at us as if, right? And then they are all wanting to know what's happening, if it's working, if it's not working. And then we feel like we can't handle this shame, or we can't handle this other heavy emotions of fear. And therefore, we just want to go back to the comfort zone. So if that's happening, I just want you to know that I hear you, and I also just want to offer to you that let's not demonize or make those emotions as like so bad and so difficult to handle, but rather just accept it or recognize them being part of the process that we go through. We are capable and very much capable of handling them, meaning let those emotions just wash through us. And then once we do that, then we have this clarity afterwards to decide what we can or what we want to do with it. And just because we're experiencing shame, fear, does not mean that we need to quickly fix it by going to what we know if we don't want to. If we want to, absolutely great. But what I see happening is that oftentimes people then go back to work and then they say to themselves, well, it's not going to work anymore. I have tried. Now I will never try. And then they give up on other dreams that they have. And I would love to encourage you to not do that. Even if you decide to go back to work, continue working on that goal that you wanted to pursue, continue working on it. Continue pursuing that, expecting that shame and fear as part of the process of transitioning, and you can handle it. Imagine if your dreams were away from you only by shame and confusion, or shame and fear. If between you and your dreams were standing the shame and fear, would you still do it? Would you like go through that challenge, go through those emotions, feelings in order to go to what you really want? I have done it, and I think it's so doable and possible as long as we don't make those emotions mean something very wrong and bad happen, but rather take them as part of the process, just like we go through uh, by experiencing other emotions when we transition. Okay, this is all what I wanted to say. And if you are experiencing this, please let me know and we can find a way to help you to stay on track to getting what you want. Because let's not let shame, fear, or humiliation stand in the way of what we're really truly wanting to achieve. And let's make that dream happen. Okay. Have a great week, everyone.